We welcome you back to the SRL Snowman Motorsports Designs Cup Series. Here for another brilliant season of SRL. We're here for the clash at Legacy Daytona, just finishing up practice right now. This race is streamed on HES ZL1 instead of the normal FTN because of some technical issues that will definitely get resolved before the Daytona 250 and the duels. So this is going to be the temporary home for the clash. But as of right now, 15 seconds left in practice. Top of the boards goes to the 88 of Connor Zola. But since we all know that Super Speedway qualifying really isn't all that interesting, we will go through the schedule for the 2025 season of the SRL Snowman Motorsports Designs Cup Series as all of the drivers plow into the inside wall. So the schedule: race 1 on April 27th is going to be the duels and the Daytona 250. Race 2 is at Auto Club on May 4th, and then the week after that is Las Vegas, and then we head to the first road course for race 4, Portland, on June 8th after about a month break since Las Vegas. Then the week after that, it is time to go to Motegi, a staple of the SRL calendar. And then after that, we go to Chicagoland on June 22nd, and then Darlington a couple weeks after that, July 13th, race 8, another road course, Sonoma, on July 20th, and then New Hampshire for July 27th. And then race 10, new track on the SRL schedule, Legacy, Kentucky on August 10th for race number 10. And the week after that, it goes to Charlotte for what I believe is the second longest track on the schedule, or the second longest race. I mean, at a length of 225 miles on the 17th of August. And another road course for race number 12, we go to the streets of Chicago on August 24th. And then after that, back to plate racing at Talladega for the Talladega 250. After that, on September 14th, is a 200-mile race at Texas for race number 14. Then after that is Nashville Super Speedway. On September 21st, for race number 16, it will be Michigan on the 28th of September. And then after that, the final road course of the season at Watkins Glen. Unsure if that is the boot or the classic, or not the classic, the cup layout for Watkins Glen. We'll have to see when I check up further on the schedule. After that, for race number 18, is going to be at Pocono. And then after that, on October 26th, is going to be Kansas. Then the perennial closer for SRL is Homestead, November 2nd. So that is the schedule for the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series. And while we are still qualifying, we still have about two and a half minutes left of qualifying. We can show a commercial that I was asked to show on the broadcast. So let's do that right now.
Are you looking for something to make you look good out in front of your competitors? Well, look no further than Snowman Studios. SMS specializes in iRacing designs just for you, from NASCAR to IMSA to late models. SMS can make you a personalized paint. Snowman Studios, making you look good out front.
Okay, sorry about that. I was just changing some settings. And I hope you liked that nice little commercial. I quite liked it when I first watched it. But qualifying starting to wrap up, and let me just post the broadcast link to everyone in the server real quick. Okay, so now that that is out of the way, we can start to go to our starting lineup. So starting on the pole is going to be the 16 of Riley Marabello, and on his outside is going to be the runner-up to last season's championship points, Sam Brochu. Next page. On the inside of row number 2 is going to be the 24 of River Page, and on his outside is going to be the 27 of Juan Escamilla. On the inside of row number 3 is going to be the 9 of Andrew Cootie. He's always done well at these plate tracks, and on his outside is going to be the number 30 of Matthew Miles. The inside of row number 4 is going to be Jacob A. Wilkerson in the familiar number 43, and on his outside another contender, James R. Bomar in the number 20. The inside of row number 5 is going to be the 54 of Trevor Huff, and rounding out the top 10 is going to be the number 12 of Trevor Haley. And then let me go to the next page. Inside of row number 6 is going to be the number 8 of Nicholas Bauman, and on his outside is going to be the familiar number 96 of James Thurston. Inside of row number 7 is going to be League Admin John O. Lynch, and the number 50 on his outside is going to be the number 79 of Barrett Bohemus. The inside of row number 8 was the fastest in practice, number 88, Connor Zola, and on his outside, I believe making his first start in SRL, the number 6 of Zachary Cato. Inside of row number 9 is Tyler J. Curley, the number 77, and on his outside is Joseph Lewis, the number 28. Inside of row number 10 in the 48 is the one and only Nicholas Martinez Jr. On his outside is the 45 of Andretti Robinson, rounding out the top 20. Inside of row number 11 is the number 31 of Ollie Reeves. On his outside is the number 41 of Noah Larson. Inside of row number 12, iScar Cup Series champion Malachi Drake. On the inside of row number 12, and on his outside is the number 72 of Jordan Herring. Inside of row number 13, Adam Contreras, the number 92. On his outside is the number 55 of Austin Doran. Inside of row number 14 is the number 57 of Michael Deitch, and on his outside is the number 15 of Daniel Rivera. Inside of row number 15 is the number 76 of Caleb McKinney. On the outside of row number 15 is last season's champion Sean Rowan, the number 99. Inside of row number 16 is going to be the number 81 of Ethan DeWeld, I think making his first start in SRL, alongside another, I believe, newcomer in the number 7 of Braden Hill. On the inside of row number 17 is the 095 of Alexander Balderas, and on his outside is the number 97 of Jason Brady. On the inside of row number 18 is the number 2 of Van Drummond. You know and love him. And on the outside of Van Drummond is going to be the number 44 of Seth Hood. And rounding out the field on the inside of row number 19 is Glenn Bundren Jr. So now that we've gotten qualifying out of the way, we are getting geared up to go green here. 50 laps. We're going to have 3 green-white checkers if we need them. I believe 3 tire sets. This is all going to be run during the day. So a nice short race to get the rust off, since the last time these drivers raced SRL was November. So about 5 months ago was the last time SRL took on a race. So we're heading back for the Clash, getting getting all the soreness out, getting all the rust off. Pace car lights are off. That means it's going to dive into pit lane real soon. And it's a Snowman Studios sponsorship lockout for the front row of that 16 and 98. Very similar cars. I'll probably confuse them sometime during this race since everyone's going to be running so close in this pack. But waiting for the pace car to come into pit lane. Sorry about that. And into pit lane, waiting for the green flag.
Green flag.
Green flag is out for the clash of the SRL Snowman Motorsports Designs Cup Series. And looks like everyone's keeping it very cordial. No one's trying to make it 3 wide so far, as Riley Marabello is pulling out to a pretty decent lead, moves up to cover his teammate of Sam Brochu, and they're both going to be running the high line. That is the number 24 of River Page, all the way on the inside, and I believe that is James Bomar all the way up top in that EPI car. But he's going to be falling back in, and alongside, all the way on the inside below the yellow line, is the number 88 of Connor Zola, I believe. Looks like everyone's minding their P's and Q's right now. This is the old configuration of Daytona, so it is going to be very bumpy. But Andrew Cootie doing a nice job of pushing River Page, and then forces River Page to the middle. That checks everyone up except the outside line. And Riley Marabello is going to be credited with leading the first lap, as they are 4 wide in the back, as I believe, I think it's a 50 of John Lynch is trying to let cars by. Looks like they got through it all with not too much of an issue, but that did cause a little bit of separation. But cars jostling for position as the top 2 start to try to pull away, but can't, as a 27 of Juan Escamilla with a big run, big push from Nicholas Baumann in that Napa number 8. Great job of pushing from the 8 and 27 to get to the lead, as Escamilla looks like he's going to be the one leading lap number 2. How will this highline respond as the inside gets jumbled up? Looks like James Thurston was not very square with the number 9 of Andrew Cootie. But now that outside line starting to form, River Page and Ollie Reeves looking to make a third line here at Daytona. It's certainly possible, but with how bumpy these corners are, and it's not as wide as Talladega, it's going to be tough. Andrew Cootie bails on that plan. He's dropping to the back. Cars shuffling all over the place. James Thurston in the middle. Jacob Wilkerson dives to the inside right in front of Escamilla. Riley Marabello covers the bottom, and it's going to be the number 54 of Trevor Huff running the high side. Getting pushed from River Page, but a big separation between him, and the caution is out. We'll have to see for what. As we see that Michael Deitch has gotten a meatball flag. Oh yeah, that is one tore up car. So let's get a replay going real quick. Please stand by for just 1 second. Okay, looking at Michael Deitch right now. That's the 44 of Seth Hood right behind him. Looks like Seth Hood thought he could get to his inside and just clip the quarter panel of Michael Deitch, sending him around. Michael Deitch tries to get it straight and just going too fast for that much rotation. Just barely clips Kevin Brady too hard into the wall. And that's most likely the source of the meatball flag for that 57. So not the way you want to start off his season. And did Jason Brady save that? Oh, good avoidance by Glenn Bundren. But an even better save by Jason Brady to not hit anything. Jason Brady is thanking his lucky stars he did not have a meeting with that outside wall or another car. Good heads-up driving by Glenn Bundren to not hit that spinning 97, and he was careening all over the track. But unfortunate for Michael Deitch. Not the way you want to start off your season, being in the first wreck. It wasn't his fault, just the 44 stuck his nose in, and there wasn't a hole there. So that happens sometimes here at plate races, and it's just an unfortunate byproduct of how close these cars race here. But under caution right now. Cars going into pit lane to repair damage and to get fueled up. Back up front is the number 43 of Jacob Wilkerson. And that's the number 7 of Braden Hill right behind him. And I believe his first start in SRL. And you see that Eminem's car behind them. That is not Adam Contreras. Let me get a better view of that number 99. That is actually Sean Rowe. Adam Contreras ran the M&M scheme for a lot of SRL last season, and from what I can gather, it looks like they're doing a sort of scheme swap, maybe for this race, as that is a very Sean Rowe-esque paint job on the number 92 of Adam Contreras. So some fun games going on here in SRL for the Clash, but maybe these changes will revert back to what I'm used to seeing, that orange and black. I'm much more used to seeing on a number 99 and an M&M's paint scheme on a number 92. But regardless, 5 laps in the book so far here at Daytona. Jacob Wilkerson leading the way so far. And looks like the choose cone rule is in effect here. Pace car lights are off. So, interestingly, Jacob Wilkerson chooses the high side. And that will lead Braden Hill in that number 7 to take the bottom. He's going to have I assume that they're teammates of Riley Marabello and Sam Brochu right behind him, so he's going to have some help from some of the best plate racers in this league. As I see, the 6 of Zachary Cato has made his way up into the top 10. So, good early showing from that number 6 Valvoline car. And it's too early to make any calls on who may win this race so far. Everyone knows with the nature of these plate tracks, it's anyone's game as long as you can avoid the wrecks. And so we will certainly have a treat for the Clash. But pace car lights are off, signifying that it will pull into pit lane this time by. And I don't believe that on this rendition of Daytona there is a restart zone, so I believe it is on leader's discretion. So Jacob Wilkerson is the control car. He can go whenever after the pace car pulls into pit road. As we gear up to have our first restart of the SRL Snowman Motorsports Designs Cup Series season. Pace car is in. Green flag. Not a good start for the number 27 of Escamilla. Looks like he either just was sleeping on the start, did not get the car in gear. That bogs up the entire outside line. Jacob Wilkerson with not a lot of help. Sean Rowe trying his best to get them clear of the inside line, and Braden Hill left alone by the Snowman Designs cars of Marabello and Brochu. Now they're pushing the 99 of Sean Rowe, and then Sean Rowe pushes the 43 of Wilkerson. Now that inside line starting to get a resurgence with the number 7 of Braden Hill, getting a great push from, I believe that is Andretti Robinson in the number 45. First time he's been in the top 5 tonight. And help from a familiar someone at these tracks, James Thurston, the number 96, in a new paint job. But Wilkerson will take the credit for leading lap number 7 as we head on to lap number 8. Sean Rowe thought about looking to the inside, but Braden Hill and Andretti Robinson are hard charging all the way on the inside. Big head of steam for that number 7. The 43 can't cover the bottom. And now put Braden Hill in the top spot as of right now. Getting some great pushes from that 45 cars, all squiggly down the back straight. But Hill will be able to clear Wilkerson if he wants to move up to the top and give Robinson some room. But it looks like that will not be the case as Hill elects to stay on the bottom. Sean Rowe is going to have to do a hell of a job pushing Wilkerson to the front. But now Hill moves to the top, and now that moves Andretti Robinson to the bottom. But everything moved back to the status quo as Wilkerson got a good run off the top, and he's going to have a good run entering turn 1. As long as no side draft comes into play, he's definitely poised to have a good run to take the inside if he wants it down the back straight. But he's going to need help from Sean Rowe, and Sean Rowe's very, very good at pushing here at the plate tracks. Wilkerson is clear if he wants to take the inside line, but it looks like, yeah, he'll do it with more than enough clearance in front of that number 7. It looks like the bumps are forcing drivers on the inside to shift towards the middle a little bit as Braden Hill gets really close to the quarter panel of Sean Rowe. That puts Andretti Robinson in the sucker hole, and James Thurston all the way on the side. And car around. That is Juan Escamilla. It was just outside of the shot as I was trying to move the camera to James Thurston, and we will get a replay on that real soon. So stand by for just 1 second as the second caution of this season comes out. So we are looking at Juan Escamilla right now in the number 27. Looks like Braden Hill went a little bit higher, and James Thurston saw a hole. That caused a 4-wide situation, and maybe a little bit of contact between the 7 and the 45. Just brought the 45 into the number 27. Not a whole lot the 27 could do. 7 just left too much room on the bottom, and James Thurston saw an opportunity. That is the number 8 of Nicholas Baumann right behind him, who, I don't know, I think he just gave him a little bit of a tap. Besides that, not too much of damage on that number 8, so a pretty good lessening of what could be a disaster situation for that number 8 car. I see some left front damage that can be easily worked on under caution. So let's go to the number 8 right now. If I can find him on my timing board. Oh, here it is. Looks like he's going to be... Yeah, he's going to pull into pit lane to get some of that left front damage replaced. Or not replaced, but repaired. As, yeah... Juan Escamilla has some right front damage from that incident, but it shouldn't be too much as long as he did not get a meatball. He should be fine. But it is still Jacob Wilkerson leading the way at the second caution on lap number 12 here at Daytona. Your current top 10 as it stands right now. P1, Jacob Wilkerson, then followed by Sean Rowe, Riley Marabello, Sam Brochu, Braden Hill, Andretti Robinson. Zachary Cato is still working his way through the field. He's up to 7th place right now. James Bomar, after sliding back in the beginning, now up to P8. Caleb McKinney up to P10. And Austin Doran, I believe in his first start, is within the top 10 in the number 55. First time I've seen that car on track during at least my broadcasting time here in SRL. He might have done starts before. but I don't remember seeing his name on the SRL timing board. So this might be his first start, for all I know. And something to note while we are under caution, the contingency stickers for the SRL cars have changed. They now have the Snowman Motorsports Designs logo right where the SRL logo used to be last season. Personally think that they look very nice. Of course, not everyone's going to have them. Like Sean Rowe doesn't have them, but I think that the cars look pretty good with them on. But I don't think that contingency rules are in effect until the actual beginning of the season, which is 2 weeks from now. Yeah, we will have the duels and the Daytona 250 all in one big old stream on April 27th. So that is 2 Sundays from now. And that is the race for all the marbles right there. And I forgot to mention the playoff format for this season in SRL is going to be a much more traditional chase format. So if I'm not mistaken, it is just a traditional 12-car chase format. So the points reset after a fixed point in the schedule, and then it is, I believe, the highest point score of those 12 cars in the standings win. So much like the original chase format, but with 12 drivers. So no more March Madness style brackets, as crazy as that was to do. No more of that. A much more points based system now. But it is Jacob Wilkerson choosing the outside once again. He's going to have Sean Rowe behind him, and then the 2 Snowman Studios cars on his inside. So that is going to be a force to be reckoned with. 2 teammates working together on the bottom lane. But from what I saw, Andretti Robinson was doing a great job pushing Braden Hill. But a good start from Jacob Wilkerson leading the outside line. Sean Rowe not able to get clear just yet. Looks like he won't be able to as they run into turn 1. But don't count out Andretti Robinson. He's a very good pusher on these plate tracks, as we saw with his efforts in pushing Braden Hill. And now Braden Hill helping out Sean Rowe on the outside. Wilkerson flies up to the top to cover the hard-charging Sean Rowe. And now the 2 Snowman Studios cars of Sam Brochu and Riley Marabello running the inside. And looks like Marabello's going to have the edge entering the corner. That is Aldom Contreras all the way up top. About 5 rows into the pack. And still 3 wide, but he does not have any help with him. He is going to slide back like a rock. But let's go back to the leader of Riley Marabello. He jumps to the top to cover Jacob Wilkerson. And now it is a complete lockout of both lines for Snowman Studios, as Sam Brochu and Riley Marabello control both lines. Both cars trying their hardest to handle over the bumps, as now Sam Brochu is getting pushed by Andretti Robinson in that number 5, and Riley Marabello is being pushed by Jacob Wilkerson in the number 43. Marabello with the advantage right now, as both Marabello and Wilkerson are clear of the inside line. Sean Rowe could dive down there if he wanted to. And that's the 55 of Austin Doran making his way into the top 5. First time we've talked about him under green right now, as the inside line has a big checkup. Outside line is going to be the way to go right now, as Caleb McKinney gets shuffled to the front. He's in the top 5 right now. The top 5 are all on the outside line right now. That inside line just does not have the momentum, as it stands right now. But Sam Brochu and Riley Marabello looking to work together. We'll see if anyone in this top 5 dives to the bottom. But the gap is closing. And big run on the inside from Marabello and Brochu. Huge run. Great pushing from Brochu. Marabello to the lead. I don't know where that run came from, but it was fierce for the time it lasted. But it peters out as that's Austin Doran diving to the inside, and Wilkerson going to cover that inside, but dives back up to the, or not dive, jumps back up to the top. My apologies for the bad wording. But Caleb McKinney trying his best, gets a little awkward push from Tyler Curley. Check up on the outside, but no harm, no foul. As it looks like the Snowman Studios cars have been separated a little bit. As I say that, Barrett Pohemus jumps to the inside, giving help to Riley Marabello, but Wilkerson still leading the way. Awkward push from Doran, and Doran goes around into Sean Rowe. Caleb McKinney, this is the big one at Daytona in the clash. Oh, Seth Hood involved as well. Oh. It only takes one bad push for everything to go south. And this race has been turned on its head. Let's get a replay done real quick. So yeah, just give me 1 second. Okay, as we look at Sean Rowe right now, it's hard to see because his car is kind of obscured by Riley Marabello. But yeah, it looks like just an awkward push from Marabello into Austin Doran. And this nice wide angle shot just shows that the track ends up getting completely blocked by cars wrecking all over the place. As yeah, Seth Hood gets a good piece of it. But they're still wrecking up there. James Thurston's around. That's a big hit into the right front by Martinez. And yeah, this shot right here just shows just how many cars. As Riley Marabello looks like he gets turned by, I believe that's the 50. Yeah, that's the 54 of Trevor Huff. But cars strewn all over the racetrack. But currently, who is the leader? It is not Austin Doran. It is Daniel Rivera in the number 15. I think he was one of the few cars to get out of it without a scratch. So he is going to be leading, assuming he doesn't pit this next time by. But multiple cars involved. Let me see if anyone got a meatball from that. So I have to manually edit the so let's see if anyone got a meatball for this. So it looks like it was just Sean Rowe that got a meatball flag for too much damage. But that was quickly resolved, as I don't believe that there were any fast repairs. No, he's still in pit lane, getting damage done. But many drivers were black flagged for pulling into pit lane. Or not pulling into pit lane, for going into pit lane, trying to avoid that massive track blocking accident. But right now, your top 10 is Daniel Rivera, Jacob Wilkerson, Barrett Polhemus, Jordan Herring, Nicholas Baumann, Andrew Cootie, Alexander Balderas, Ethan DeWeld, and Trevor Haley and John Lynch. Those are your top 10 drivers right now. As the pace car lights are off, so we are going to be green flag racing next time by. There's multiple drivers had to actually tow to pit lane. Tyler Curley and Juan Escamilla, looks like they had to be towed to pit lane. So their nights might be preemptively done. And NZG, I just saw your chat. This is the main broadcast. I did not have the stream key for FTN for today's race, so I had to stream it on my channel. But all the other races are planned to be streamed on Fireball Talks NASCAR, unless something happens, which it shouldn't. So we should all be pretty good over there. But coming to the green, Daniel Rivera gets a good start. Looks like Barrett Polhemus caught sleeping a little bit. Wasn't expecting the jump from Rivera. Wilkerson and Jordan Herring able to clear themselves up to the top line. Not a lot of help on the bottom. First car down there is Andrew Cootie, and it's a ways away before the damaged car of Ethan DeWeld gets to him. So it looks like Daniel Rivera is going to be leading this outside line for quite a while, unless Wilkerson or the cars behind him make a sudden dive to the bottom. But it looks like that top line is going to be the line where people want to be. It seems like the bumps are a lot less pronounced up there compared to the bottom and middle, where I see cars basically bottoming out and getting moved towards the middle, causing a lot of shuffling. As that's Andrew Cootie falling back a little bit, as there is no pull on that inside line. So Daniel Rivera is still leading the charge on the outside, as that inside line desperately tries to get formed up, but it does not have the numbers that this outside line does. A little bit of Dale lining going on right now, led by Daniel Rivera. Looks like maybe some of the drivers behind him just riding in line, saving fuel, trying to get some green flag laps in, as we are, I believe, 3 cautions into a 50-lap race. But this is old Daytona in a car that doesn't really handle bumps all that well. But looks like we have a little bit of a breakaway, as the 95 of Alexander Balderas is about 3/10 removed from Trevor Haley and Sam Brochu. But it looks like that's going to get closed up rather quickly, as Brochu does his best to catch up to the main pack, and then Trevor Huff and Contreras are going to be right behind him, as that inside line starting to gain some momentum. Ethan DeWeld and Andrew Cootie working together to get something on the bottom. Contreras now takes the initiative, now the leading car on the inside, and that is who's that in the 12? Sorry, I have. You'd have to forgive me to get some of these names correcting. That is Trevor Haley. I apologize for the brain fart. As the caution is out, I heard some skidding in the back, but I didn't know if that was an audio glitch. But yes, someone did spin out, and we have James Thurston going slowly into turn 1. So we'll have to get a replay on that coming up real soon. Give me 1 second. Okay, currently looking at James Thurston right now. Looks like Caleb McKinney thought he was clear of James Thurston. He was not, and that's a pretty average just miscommunication from on these plate tracks from Caleb McKinney. He thought he was clear, misjudged the distance between his rear bumper and the front end of James Thurston, and one car goes around, another car gets some left front damage. It's about as tame as a wreck at Daytona gets. So hate to see the race go under caution again, but at least it wasn't another massive wreck like the last one. So let me get this off your screen. As of right now, your top 10 is Daniel Rivera, Jacob Wilkerson, Jordan Herring, Barrett Polhemus, Nicholas Baumann, Alexander Balderas. Haven't talked about him a lot besides him being in the front pack, but he is inside the top 10 in position number 6. Trevor Haley in the number 12. Sam Brochu been in the top 10 the entire day so far. Good running by him. Adam Contreras in that very Sean Rowe-esque paint job in the number 92. And Andrew Cootie dropping back in the beginning seems to have paid off as he has worked his way back up into the top 10. Looks like everyone's going to dive down pit lane right now. Perfect timing to get the pit road segment on the screen right now. As I have to see who gets off pit road first. Looks like it's going to be 2 tires for Daniel Rivera at number 15. And will he get out ahead of Wilkerson? Looks like he will not, but we have an accident on pit road. That is Nicholas Baumann. Nicholas Baumann reversing out of pit road. We'll just use the reverse feature on ATVO to see what happened. So it looked like he was just got loose, and oh, that collected Alexander Balderas. We're just talking about him, and Trevor Haley as well. I bet they're not too happy with the driver of that 8 car. Looks like he just gassed it up too much on pit road. But the good thing is that this is the Clash. This is not a big race like the 250. So mistakes like that, while you hate to see them, at least there's a little bit of leeway. But let's get this pit road thing off your screen, and let's go back to our leaders. Looks like Barrett Polhemus. He is the first driver out of pit road. As I believe, yeah, I think he was the first driver to come out. So a good pit stop by that 79 crew to get him out in front of Jacob Wilkerson, as we see the extent of the damage on the front of Alexander Balderas. That front end has a big ol' Nicholas Baumann-sized dent in it from the contact on pit road and iRacing pit road. It always feels inconsistent because sometimes you can phase right through other cars and not get any damage, and then other times something like that happens. Someone spins the tires and you get damage, but hopefully this won't affect his race too much as Barrett Polhemus chooses the outside line, and looks like his teammate in the very similar Snowman Designs car, so that's Sam Brochu, going to choose the outside as well. Jacob Wilkerson going to be on the inside, leading the way on the inside line. Hopefully they'll get a much better run this time around in the green flag run than last restart, because that inside line had no pull whatsoever, led to a big Dale line forming, and we'd probably go another 20 laps green if that caution with Caleb McKinney didn't come out. But Barrett Polhemus is the Barrett Polhemus is the control car in that number 79 Snowman Designs Chevrolet. And let's get a slightly better camera angle down here. There we go. So it looks like there are slight changes in the paint schemes to make the to make the broadcasting experience a little easier, the studios on the side of the car and on the hood is gray on Bohemus when it is white on Sam Brochu's. I believe, and it's the same for, so Barrett Bohemus and John Lynch, the number 50, the fourth car on the outside, looks like they have pretty identical schemes, but for some reason John Lynch is running a Toyota when the entire team is running Chevys. That's just iRacing for you, folks. But pace car lights are off. It's going to be pulling into pit lane, and we are going to be going green for, I believe, the fourth time tonight in the Clash. Bohemus, the control car. He can go whenever he wants to. And waiting.
Green,
it looks like he went on green, so everyone gets a pretty equal start. Wilkerson going to have the advantage as he has the shortest way around the track right now. And he's going to have a push from a damaged number 95 of Alexander Balderas. Contreras jumps to the high side, barely makes that whole fit in between Herring and Brochu, but he makes it work. So he's going to be the third car on the outside. Not a lot of help on this inside line. Glenn Bundren, he started all the way in last. Now he's working his way into the top 10. Great run by the number 37, but Barrett Bohemus and Sam Brochu, a little bit of a breakaway from Wilkerson on this outside lane. Are they going to choose to drop to the bottom? I don't think so. That top side is working out wonders for him. Bohemus, little wiggle, maybe a awkward push from Brochu, but they get it all settled. Coming to lap 29, that inside line is coming. Looks like that damage is not affecting Balderas all that much as he is able to lead that inside line, but the run kind of stalls out around the fifth car in line. But they are all packed up tightly. I see Jason Brady in the number 97 in there as well. And Seth Hood, we thought he got a lot of damage from that big wreck. Looks like he did not. But that outside line still holding steady with Barrett Bohemus wiggling all over the track. But Sam Brochu able to mimic his moves quite nicely, able to stay ahead of Wilkerson as it looks like they were trying to go three wide for a second back there with, I believe that is James Bomar in the other EPI car. But all sorts of wiggly up top. And a much more composed bottom line. I think that'll lead to more overall speed as cars won't have to check up as much. But the number 95 of Balderas looks like he's struggling to get to the leaders because that inside line does not have the numbers. But with these next-gen cars, if you can get 3 to 4 cars working together nicely, you can get a great run on the inside, and that's exactly what Balderas is doing. He's up to the side of Brochu. Now, the outside line is going to have the run down the back straight, but this is some great progress for this inside line that is all fractured up as that is Zachary Cato as Marabello jumps to the inside. Balderas in the sucker. Cato goes around. Oh, big wreck. Hootie and fall hood hard into the wall. Oh, that's a big wreck. Oh, goodness. Oh, that's 5, 6 cars. Rivera's in it. Goodness. Cootie's in it. Like I said, that's Connor Zola in the number 13 also involved. As, yeah, Zachary Cato going to take a tow. But let's get a replay on that because that all happened so quickly. It was like a blink of an eye. And as I see, Sam Brochu, PPG, okay, and John Lynch, 4Ride Motorsports. Okay. So, new different paint schemes for all the SMS cards will be out for race 1, so they'll all be different. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Wyatt. I'll write that down for a future reference so I can try to have a better team commentary for the 250. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, let me get this off your screen real quick, and let's get a better camera angle of what happened. Because it all started with Zachary Cato. Okay, looking at Zachary Cato, and it looks like he just got an awkward push from the car right behind him. So yeah, so it looks like he moves down to try to cover the bottom, and then these next gen cars, they're just, oh, never mind. It looks like Seth Hood got into the back of Cootie as Cootie was trying to move towards the middle, and that just hooked him straight into Kato. Nothing Kato or Cootie could do. Seth Hood just got into Cootie, and then that caused a big stack up on the inside. Seth Hood gets hooked by, I believe that is Matthew Miles in the 30. Yeah, and that was a hard hit for the number 44. Trevor Huff goes around the number 28 of Joseph Lewis. That's the car getting ping-ponged in that number 28. It seems like he can never catch a break here at these plate tracks, and yeah, he goes for a hard lick into the outside wall. Big accident as I accidentally go to the wrong person. But yeah, that's Connor Zola in the number 88. It says 13 because he hasn't updated his custom number. But it looks like the race has gone from bad to worse for Nicholas Baumann as he gets involved in it. Same with Trevor Haley as well. So a second very big wreck, collecting about 6 or 7 very good race cars here. But that's what Daytona does. Daytona giveth and Daytona definitely taketh. As we go back to our leader right now, Barrett Bohemus in the number 79 for PPG. So your current top 10 as it stands right now is Barrett Bohemus in the lead with Sam Brochu right behind him, Jacob Wilkerson in that 43. It seems like he's never been outside of the top 3 all race, but he is still in third as he chooses the high side on the choose cone. Fourth is Adam Contreras. Made his way up very slowly to the 4th spot, but the only lap that matters when you lead is the last lap, so this could all be one big chess move. In 5th is, or now that everyone's done the choose cone now, in 4th is Alexander Balderas, then Jacob Wilkerson, so Wilkerson will be currently scored 5th. Jordan Herring in 6th, Riley Marabello in 7th, with John Lynch in 8th. Glenn Bundren, like I said, started in last, made his way up to the top 10, and Jason Brady has made his way into the top 10 as well. Haven't mentioned him all night except for the starting lineup. That is Malachi Drake in the number 90, right behind Jason Brady, as the field gets bunched up once again for another restart. I believe this is restart number 5, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, SMS is still up front with Adam Contreras and Alexander Balderas looking to spoil that SMS party. But a very black and yellow outside line. I think that outside line is going to be a force to reckon with. You got very capable pusher and Jacob Wilkerson, and then you have basically teammate affiliated cars running that outside line, blocking out the top 5 spots on the outside line. That is going to be one hard force to go up against. But Barrett Bohemus is the control car for this restart. Pace car lights are off. It's going to be pulling into pit lane as we get ready for another restart here. And Bohemus with a good jump. It looks like it was very well coordinated with Brochu getting the jump on Contreras. And Contreras dives to the inside line. So maybe Contreras doesn't want anything to do with this. Or maybe he got a bad start. Who knows? But that was certainly strange as all the cars start to file out to that top lane. And Riley Marabello jumps to the bottom, leaves Wilkerson to dry as Lynch does his darndest to push Marabello past the side draft of Wilkerson. But Wilkerson doing a good job of keeping these two cars next to him for the longest amount possible. A little bit of a blink, maybe some netcode, but looks like things are pretty stable right now. But this has allowed Barrett Bohemus and Sam Brochu to about a 6/10 of a second breakaway. It's not going to last for long as the field is going to catch them very quickly as Alexander Balderas is now pushing Jacob Wilkerson on that outside line. Moving to the inside, looks like it did not work for Marabello and Lynch. As now Balderas and Wilkerson both move to the bottom in front of the SMS cars. And now, whoa! Polhemus got really, really loose. Almost got turned. And now he's pushing Wilkerson as Balderas looks at the inside. And that's Thurston going around in the back. Do they get it saved? I don't think that they do. No, caution is out.
Stop the count.
As Bomar is involved, the 41 of Larson, I think, might have some damage. And man, we cannot get a green flag run in. Let's get a replay going up real quick. As yeah, that was an admin caution, but that should have been a caution regardless. But let's see what happened. So currently looking at James Bomar in the 20 as they went 4 wide, splitting Trevor Huff, and looks like Bomar tried to get to the inside of DeWeld, misjudged where he was in relation, or not Bomar, Thurston tried to get to the inside of DeWeld, and misjudged his proximity to Bomar. Caleb McKinney goes around across the nose of the 77. And good avoidance by Martinez to not hit the spinning McKinney. And yeah, Bomar seemingly got a lot of damage. Oof. Larson cutting it very close to the back end of Bomar, but it looks like he didn't get any damage from that. So good avoidance from that 41. But 15 laps to go here at Daytona. Coming to 14 laps to go as Wilkerson back in the lead. Okay, so it's called PPG Esports. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you, Jason, for letting me know that. Currently, the top 5, it's been about the same for the past, I'd say, 10-15 laps. Wilkerson, Polhemus, Balderas, Marabello, and Brochu all in the top 5. Haven't talked about him, I don't think, at all this race. Kenny Reel in the 11 very silently has made his way up into the top 10, currently running in 7th. That's what clean racing can get you. You can get to the front at the end of the race by just simply avoiding wrecks if there's a lot of wrecks happening. So a good run by Kenny Reel. I don't think I've seen him. I don't think I saw him at all last season. I might be mistaken, but a good showing in the Clash for that number 11 team. As I believe we are at 2 to green right now. So next time by, the drivers will choose their preferred lines, and we will try to get another green flag run going, hopefully this time to the end. But things are getting antsy now. It's now the latter stages of this race, and we are quickly approaching that 50 lap mark. But your top 10 as it stands right now: Wilkerson, Polhemus, Balderas, Marabello, Brochu, Lynch, Reel, Bundren, Matthew Miles, and Malachi Drake. That's your top 10 as it stands. Wilkerson choosing that outside line. Seems like everyone in the lead wants to choose the outside line. Maybe it gets better runs into turn 1. But Polhemus is going to be on the inside with Wilkerson on his outside. Wilkerson's going to be the control car as Kenny Reel needs to catch up to the back of the 95. This race, for only for only having 38 laps completed, I believe has taken about an hour to do. As what we started with about 30 seconds left in practice. Qualifying was 5 minutes, and my stream timer says that we've been up for about an hour and 5 minutes. So I'd say we're probably reaching the 55-minute mark in this race. But this is the clash. Next 2 weeks from now, we'll be at the regular Daytona oval, so it'll be a lot smoother, and we'll hopefully have a lot longer green flag runs, as I'm streaming both the duels and the full 250-mile race, I think, consecutively. So hopefully that will go by much smoother than this. But we still have 12 laps to go once these drivers cross the stripe. Pace car pulling in any moment. Wilkerson is going to be the control car. He's going to go whenever he wants to, and the rest of the field will just have to deal with it. And a good start by Wilkerson. Looks like Marabella wasn't able to predict when Wilkerson was going to go. Wilkerson jumps to the bottom. And now that leaves a pretty big gap on that high side as Polhemus moves up with him to the high side. Balderas now leading the inside here with 12 laps to go. To the inside of Polhemus is that number 95, and to the inside of Wilkerson. But Wilkerson's going to have a good run down that backstretch, getting pushed by Polhemus, and Balderas has a push from Kenny Reel coming in. And it looks like the outside line is still going to be the dominant line here, as it's just mostly SMS cars. As that inside line can't get a lot going. We have 3 wide action in the midfield, as I saw Contreras going 3 wide for just a second. But it looks like that has calmed down. That outside line still dominant. Those top 3 cars all clear of the inside, as Contreras forging his own path through the middle. And he's getting help from Nicholas Martinez Jr., but just not a lot of cars opting to choose that middle line. Kenny Reel goes up to block, and now Contreras jumps to the bottom. They will be the dominant force on the bottom line, as the bottom line essentially just dissolved, trying to prevent the middle line from forming too much of a run, as now all 4 SMS cars have taken the top 4 spots in a complete lockout right now, as they snag the bottom. And Wilkerson left out to dry, no help until Adam Contreras comes along to help him out. But right now it is a PPG and 4 wide top 4 right now, with John Lynch connecting this breakaway to the rest of the pack. 10 laps to go here at the old Daytona International Speedway. As I don't know why I said that, but Wilkerson moves to the inside with help from Contreras. Wilkerson going to be making moves on the bottom. He's all the way to the inside of Marabello, getting a lot of help from Contreras and Martinez. That is the 77 helping him out, I believe. And Curley is actually 6 laps down, so he doesn't have a dog in this fight, except that he wants to help this inside start moving. A big shove from Brochu to teammate Marabello. Will Polhemus jump down to the bottom to try to block Wilkerson? Looks like no. They'll stick to the high side. Looks like they're very confident in their teamwork abilities. And Wilkerson and Contreras and Martinez are going to have to be racing for all that they're worth. And I forgot to mention that Martinez is also 6 laps down. So it looks like Martinez just wants to make this race interesting along with Curley. As Wilkerson jumps to the high side to block SMS, and that leaves Contreras on the inside with only the lapped cars of Martinez and Curley to help him out. Wilkerson getting an amazing run on the high side with help from Polhemus, but this leaves a big gap to the bottom. Polhemus will have to make a drastic move to the inside if he wants to leave Wilkerson out to dry, but I don't think Marabello is going to be clear until the exit of this corner. So the real race is for third, as Martinez gets really squirrely off the bumper of Curly. That is not doing any favors for the inside line, as they'll have to check up a heck of a lot. 8 laps to go, as that is Noah Larson jumping to the high side in that blue number 41. Polhemus and Marabello and Brochu all jump to the inside. Lynch not able to do it, and a big turn. Oh my goodness gracious, a big wreck. Polhemus goes soaring over the top of Wilkerson, as that is your leaders getting in a wreck, going for the same amount of real estate at 200 miles an hour. Oh, that was a huge shunt. Let's get a replay up to get a slow-mo capture of that, as that was a violent wreck. Oops, sorry for showing the iRacing UI right there. But yeah, it looks like, so we're looking at Barrett Polhemus right now, and looks like I'd have to say that might be a little bit of net code between Marabello and the quarter panel of Wilkerson, as I don't think there was any contact with the 16 and the 43. Let's get a chase cam real quick. For Riley Marabello, as yeah, that was just netcode. The server thought Wilkerson was gonna be lower than he was, and predicted that there was gonna be some contact, and that just hooked the 43 into the 79, and the 79 went for a wild ride. Let's see if we can get an onboard cam with the 43 of Wilkerson. Give me 1 second. Yeah, just a windshield full of Barrett Polhemus, as he flew over top of Wilkerson, but that will most likely be the end of the day for Wilkerson, as he tows it to pit lane. It's unfortunate, because he ran in the, I'd say, in the top 5 for almost the entire race, and this is a big shakeup. Yeah, this is a very, very big shakeup of the field. But as I said earlier, Daytona giveth and Daytona taketh, as Daytona definitely tooketh right there. And now your top 10 is going to be all shaken up right now. Your top 10 right now is Riley Marabello in first, with teammate Sam Brochu right behind him. Adam Contreras in third. Trevor Huff has made his way up into the top 5 in fourth, with Alexander Balderas behind him in fifth. Ethan DeWeld, he blinked out. There he is. Ethan DeWeld in the sixth spot, with Kenny Reel right behind him. Noah Larson was making some moves in the back of the field earlier in the run, and he's up in 8th. James Thurston has made his way up into 9th, as he's had a very up and down day. I think he'd just be happy to see the checkered flag at this point. And Jordan Herring, haven't spoken a lot about him, but he has some front end damage, and he is in the final spot in the top 10. Cars choosing their preferred line, as we have 5 laps to go. So looks like we'll have a restart with 4 to go here. And hopefully we won't require any green white checkers, but this is the time to make some moves. As time is quickly running out in the clash. So it looks like Marabello choosing to roll on the high side. And Contreras is going to be on the inside. But I mean, PPG Esports still got some very good help on that outside line. They control the top 2 spots on that outside, and we saw how good they were at running that outside line. It's really going to be if Adam Contreras and Trevor Huff and Alexander Balderas can work well enough together to get something on the inside line moving without immediately having to jump to the high side. And what can Ethan DeWell do? He's the 3rd car on the outside line in that number 81 car. A little bit of front end damage, and it looks like he hasn't been getting the best of starts. So he might be a white flag contender. But we will have to see as these tumultuous last 4 laps will play out. Base car lights are off, so we are going to be going green. Riley Marabella is the one controlling the destiny of the field right now, as he gets to choose when to go. As I'd imagine he'd be talking with Sam Brochu right behind him, giving him a countdown so they both get really good starts.
Green flag,
and it looks like Contreras got a very good start as Trevor Huff is able to get to his is able to keep pushing the 92, so the 16 can't get to the bottom, and there's a very big disconnect between the 81 and the 98. So now Contreras with the advantage being pushed like crazy by Trevor Huff. As we have 4 laps to go, the field shuffling in all sorts of ways, but Contreras dead even with Marabello. Down the back straight into turn 3, advantage to Contreras. He's clear on the top side if he wants to take it. Huff is all over the place. Contreras jumps to the high side. A little bit of a bump from Marabello, but Contreras now controlling the outside line. Coming to 3 to go here at Daytona for the Snowman Studios Clash. As Marabello and Brochu are most likely gonna make a coordinated effort to leave Contreras out to dry. They have to do it sometime soon before the inside line catches up, but Balderas, it looks like he's not able to hold it very well on the bottom. This outside line is going to be very dominant. And oh, that is Curly around. That is the 45 of Robinson. There's the caution. And oh, Trevor Huff gets turned by, I believe that is Bomar. Thurston goes around. Oh, goodness. Yes, that's Bundren involved as well. I've said this about, I think, 10 times today. We're going to have to pull up a replay for that. So let's get that done right now. So currently looking at Tyler J. Curley, it looks like he was in the middle, and Andretti Robinson just came down a little bit into Curley, into Jason Brady, and Brady was having a pretty decent race. I mean, he was running in the back most of the time, and oh, big hit for Juan Escamilla too. But yeah, it looks like just a little bit of miscommunication. I don't know what was happening with Bomar. It looks like they were like checking up for the caution, and Bomar was just a little bit late, or Trevor Huff checked up a little earlier than Bomar expected. But after the caution comes out, Huff gets sent around, and then Thurston goes for a spin all on his own. I think. Yeah, it looks like he just jabbed on the brakes too hard. The car got away from him. Same thing with Bundren, as Bundren noses it into the outside wall. But yeah, it looks like they both braked a little too hard, and the car came around on them. But Adam Contreras still leads the outside, or he doesn't lead the outside line just yet, but he's still in the lead as we go to a green-white checker, the first out of 3. As yeah, Juan Escamilla had to tow it to pit lane, so his race has gone from bad to worse after that. Your current top 10 right now is Adam Contreras, Riley Marabello, Sam Brochu, Ethan DeWeld, Kenny Rio, Noah Larson, James Bomar, Alexander Balderas, Matthew Miles, and Jordan Herring. Good showing from Ethan DeWeld. Has survived most of these accidents and has made his way into the 4th spot. So he's in a very advantageous position, but he just needs to choose the right time. The right time to strike, and then he might be able to taste victory. But I'm telling you what, the 16 and 98 are going to be 2 tough customers to get around or just to work with on a green-white checker, because they're going to have each other's interests in mind. And it's going to be interesting to see what Adam Contreras does, because, I mean, everyone thinks he's going to be choosing the outside for the better runs down the back straight, but at the same time, the 16 and 98 are most definitely going to be working with each other. So maybe you want to choose that inside line, get a good jump, and maybe be able to clear yourself if you're able to. So what does Contreras choose? Contreras chooses the high line, and this is pretty interesting. Contreras chooses the high line, and the PPG Esports cars chooses the outside with them. So now Ethan DeWeld, and what I think is his first race, is now leading the inside line on a green-white checkered with Kenny Reel right behind him. So that 81 and 11 going to have to work together to make some magic happen, because if there are drivers that I know that can work their way around a green-white checkered at a plate track, it is Adam Contreras, Riley Marabello, and Sam Brochu. But pace car lights are off, so we are going green for the first green-white checkered next time, and Tyler Curley and Nicholas Martinez playing a little bit of footsie in the back of the pack, but they are multiple laps down, so they're not really going to be much of a factor. As we currently have 18 cars on the lead lap, and looks great. We're gonna have about I'd say about 12 in contention with this green-white checkered into turns 3 and 4 for the first time past regulation distance. This race was scheduled for 50 laps. We're gonna have 54, it looks like. Or 53, my apologies. But coming to the first green-white checkered, it's going to be Adam Contreras controlling the field with the PPG Esports cars of Marabella and Bomar behind him. DeWeld did not get a good start, but neither did Sam Brochu. More crucially, if DeWeld can fill that hole on the top, looks like he won't. Marabella is going to drag the brake to close up that gap. Marabella had the same exact thought that I did, and now Contreras jumps to the high side, jams up that outside line real heavy, and now this is going to lead DeWeld to the inside. Contreras blocks him off. Contreras doing a great job of controlling both lines, but now Contreras to the top side, DeWeld to the inside. DeWeld in his first start to the inside. He's going to have the advantage coming into turn 3. Bundren in the wall in the back. And DeWeld gets turned. Oh, he gets turned in front of the entire field. Oh!
Yellow flag is out. Stop the count.
Oh, bad situation gone to worse. That engine's gone on the 81. Yeah, I think he just got an awkward push from Contreras on the bottom, and that got him all out of sorts. And then an admin caution came out. But let's get a replay up so we can get a slow motion view of what happened to that number 81, because he had a very promising run. So currently looking at Ethan DeWeld getting, and it looks like he just got an awkward push from, not Contreras, my apologies, from Kenny Reel in the 11, and then he's trying to save it since it's the green-white checkered, gets pushed again, and then it just doesn't work like that. You can't save it in front of the field on a green-white checkered at Daytona, and caution came out. No one actually spun around except for DeWeld coming back down in front of the 72 of Jordan Herring. Martinez gets pretty sideways, but I'm pretty sure the only person to actually loop it was the 81, as that's a monster shunt. As you can see the gray smoke coming out. That ended his race. So very unfortunate for the number 81, as he will have to watch the finish from pit road. But I think the biggest beneficiary from that wreck is Noah Larson. He essentially full throttled it through most of the checkups, and he has made it into the top 5, right behind Kenny Reel. But also importantly, this has separated the 98 and the 16 on the second green-white checkered. Brochu had to check up a lot not to hit the spinning 81 car. That cost him some positions. Brochu now in 6th place, while Marabello is in 4th. So, I mean, if I was Kenny Reel, Noah Larson, or James Bomar, I'd be going wherever Marabello goes to split up the 16 and 98. Since they were working together so well this race. But green-white checkered 2 out of 3 for the Clash. As let me go to. I want to see how far in the session we are. So this race. Sorry for the quick interruption. But this race has been going on for an hour and 10 minutes. So, yeah, a 50-lap race at Daytona has gone on for about 30 minutes longer than expected. It was what? Normally a lap around here is about 45 seconds? Or 47 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, fastest lap is about a 46 second lap, so about 47 seconds. Expect this to get done in about 50 minutes with cautions, but it has stretched out to over 70 just from the sheer amount of cautions that we've had. But Contreras opts to choose the outside line, and Brochu and Marabello on opposite lines. Brochu choosing the high side, Marabello choosing the bottom. But Marabello does have a very, very good pusher behind him in that number 20 of James Bomar. James Bomar, who's had a very up and down race, being involved in a whole slew of accidents, most of which weren't his fault. In a very good position right now, as we are on the second out of 3 possible green-white checkers. And Adam Contreras is going to be the control car for this green-white checkered. He is going to be the one deciding when to go. And since I think his team, Sean Rose out of this race, his teammates out of this race, he's going to be going pretty much by himself. So Kenny Reel, it's going to be up to Kenny Reel if he can get a good start to get momentum on the outside line. I think that if Contreras is not able to clear Marabello on the start, that inside line is going to be a force to be reckoned with. The pace car is in, and
Green
good
flag,
start
green
from
flag,
the
green
outside
flag.
line. They all stack up as Kenny Real gives Contreras a big shove, and they are all packed together on that outside line. They packed together much quickly on the outside than the inside did. And now the inside line working together, but at least the front two on the outside are clear of Marabello. And they're going to get a great run down the back straight. Bauman jumps to the inside. Brochu jumps to the inside. We are 3 wide as though they get really close together, but no contact made just yet. Can we get to the white flag? Contreras dives to the bottom. Real to the middle. Real to the lane. Oh, the two SMS cars collide. Looks like they save it. Will we get to the white flag without any incidents? It looks like we will. Kenny Real leads the way to the white flag. 1 lap to go here in the clash. Contreras on the bottom, Real on the top. The SMS cars are right next to each other. They can't really help each other out. Marabello looks to move to the middle, but Real shuts the door. Real's going to have a great run, getting pushed by Sam Brochu, and Contreras not able to go up to the high side. He cannot block that high side run, but the inside line has a lot more cars down there, and Contreras is clear of Real. Real trying his best to side draft the inside line, but looks like it will not pay off. Contreras with the clear advantage. Marabello gets turned by Bomar. Real gets turned by Bomar. Everyone wrecks behind Alan Contreras. And that's Jordan Herring and James Thurston. Racing to the line, Glenn Bundren through the grass. I'm pretty sure Glenn Bundren is a couple laps down, but Alan Contreras is going to win after a massive last lap wreck. And Glenn Bundren actually did get 3rd place over James Thurston. A wild checkered flag here after a chaotic race. We will get a replay up for that last lap wreck. Okay, I apologize for showing the iRacing UI, but we are looking at Kenny Real right now, and it looks like, yeah, Marabello just came up, got into Real, and that upset his car. Brochu went to the inside, and then Bomar went to the inside of Marabello, and that just caused a very, very big stack up. I mean, yeah, Brochu's rear end's getting lifted up by Bauman, and then Balderas is trying to save it. He gets into Thurston as all these cars are racing to get to the checkered flag. And I'm trying to find out where Glenn Bundren was as he came in out of... So, Glenn Bundren disappears in turns 3 and 4. I mean, the camera can't even locate him. And then he just comes zooming on the inside of Thurston to just barely get past him. And we will have interviews in just a second. But in a crazy race, but let's get the results up on screen real quick. So, winning the Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Clash is the number 92 of Aldom Contreras, and right behind him, the first car to survive that wave of wrecked cars on the last lap is the number 72, Jordan Herring. Glenn Bundren lags his way into a 3rd place. James Thurston in 4th. Noah Larson, a solid 5th place finish to start off his season. Caleb McKinney in 6th. Riley Marabello was up front pretty much the entire race and comes home with a 7th. Matthew Miles in 8th, a very respectable 8th place for that number 30 car. John Lynch in 9th, and Jason Brady rounds out your top 10. In 11th is Juan Escamilla, the number 27, had a very up and down race, salvaged in 11th. Nicholas Bauman in 12th, and that number 8th. Trevor Huff in 13th, in the number 54, with Balderas in 14th. Sam Brochu falls all the way back down to 5th place, and Kenny Real, he was first down the back straight on the last lap, finishes 16th. James Bomar finishes in 17th, last car on the lead lap, and Connor Zola is in 18th in that number 88 with the first car 1 lap down. Tyler Curley 6 laps down with Ethan DeWeld. Unfortunate wreck sent him from first to 21st, 6 laps down. Nicholas Martinez Jr. in 21st, so my apologies, Ethan DeWeld was in 20th. Nicholas Martinez Jr. in 21st, the last car running, and then Robinson, Drake, Wilkerson, Polhemus, Braden Hill, Trevor Haley, Cootie, Austin Doran, Zachary Cato, Joseph Lewis, Daniel Rivera, Seth Hood, River Page, Sean Rowe, Ollie Reeves, Michael Deitch, and Van Drummond. The litany of cars that DNF'd from this race. So, with all of that said and done, we will be going to interviews real quick after a short break. Okay, we are back with our race winner, Adam Contreras. So let me get him into the FTN booth real quick. Coming home first in the SRL Snowman Motorsports Designs, or Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series Clash is the number 92 of Adam Contreras, coming home as the field basically explodes behind him. How you feeling, Adam?
I feel great, bro. First win in this league, so it feels great. Honestly, I felt like I low-key almost sold it when I let Kenny get to my right rear, but I forgot who was pushing me on the bottom. I think it was Riley. He was a great pusher and got me clear of the top. And then after that, they just got really shaky everywhere, and they just looped it in the back, and we made it out on top. But still, it was a fun race. I've never not won in an M&M's car, and I'm running Sean Rowe's paint scheme for this race as a little joke, and I won in his car, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was wondering about that when I was loading up the stream. That was gonna be my next question about the paint scheme. Are you going back to the normal M&Ms for the rest of the season? Is it just like a one-off thing?
Yeah, this is a one-off for sure. Me and Sean just want to do something a little funny for this exhibition race, but yeah, remember going back to the M&M's machine next race for the Daytona.
Okay, good. That's gonna be a lot more recognizable seeing you in the M&M's car. So, what was your plan? What was your plan for this race? Because I mean, if you had one, it obviously worked out. You ended up winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I felt like I just kept my car clean for the first like 30 laps. That's why I wasn't really up in the front that much. And just kept my car clean and then make my way up front when it actually mattered. So I didn't really have any teammates this race because they all got junked up. But I saw a lot of good people helping me. Like Trevor was a huge help this race. Riley, obviously, and Jacob and Sean Rowe were also helping me up as like a spotter type situation. So they also deserve a piece of this. So yeah, it's a good race overall.
Well, you heard it from the man himself. That's Adam Contreras. Before we let you go and celebrate your Clash win, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Zach Todriff for putting this wonderful team PBR together. A lot of great guys on this team. And also Burn Rubber Racing, Sean Rowe, Jacob Wilkerson, James Bomar, Nicholas Martinez, all those guys. They helped me throughout the entire race, and they helped me every race. They're great. So I want to thank you for putting the broadcast on, and Shumi for putting this league together. It was a fun race, and hopefully I can repeat it at Daytona in a couple weeks.
Well, you heard it from Adam Contreras himself. He's looking to repeat tomorrow, or not tomorrow, 2 weeks from now, at the Smooth Daytona. So we will see you then.
All right, see you, bro. Thanks.
All right, and coming home in position number 2. Let me get him into the booth. It's Jordan Herring in the number 72 coming home in second place. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
So, that last lap, I mean, what was going through your mind when that was happening?
Well, I was barely even in the front pack by the time we got to the white flag. So I knew I wasn't going to win. I just assumed they were going to wreck. And when they did, I didn't lift and just sent it to the apron. And somehow it worked. I ended up bodying Thurston afterwards. And I'm sorry to him. But, I mean, it's the end of the race. And, well, what can you do?
I mean, yeah, no holds barred at the green white checkered of these plate races. What was your plan for this race? Did you have any people you were working with, or were you just a lone wolf and you ended up second?
I didn't necessarily have a plan. I just came in here looking to have fun. I had some friends in this race, but most of them wrecked out, so I was just here by myself having fun. I didn't really care if I didn't win or not. It's just trying to get some iRacing in. That's all.
Doing it for the love of the game. You love to hear it. Before we let you go and celebrate your second place finish, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, my friend group's YouTube channel, The Boys, THEBOIS, on YouTube. Do a lot of stupid crap over there. It's funny though. Go check it out.
Okay, well, that is the driver number 72, Jordan Herring, coming home a very strong second place to kick off his SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series season. Will we see you at the duels in the 250 2 weeks from now?
Absolutely. If I don't have anything to do, I will be there. I kind of regret being part-time this season because I know I can do all these races on Sunday night. But I mean, at least I get some off days. That's a perk. But I know I could probably race full-time and be a competitor. But yeah.
All right. We'll hope to see you in the big show, Mr. Herring. We will see you then.
Yep.
Okay. And coming home, the final podium spot. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. It's the number 37 of Glenn Bundren Jr. coming home in third place. You got a copy?
I do, Garrett.
So, I mean, we saw about a tenth of what happened on the last lap. You were blinking out half the time. How'd you get to third place?
Dude, I don't know how I got to third place. My internet was stressing there whenever we all wrecked. I saw him wrecking and everything. I was trying to, zigzag, Cletus McFarland, and somehow we got through it all and everything. Got a P3 and everything. That was not my strategy the whole race. I was just gonna lay back and everything, and they all started wrecking. Every 5-10 laps, I'm like, oh screw it, I'm gonna go up and see what I can make my name out of and everything. But yeah, I don't get top threes or interviews like this much and everything. So I mean, I gotta treasure it and everything. But it's just, I'm happy. I'm finally happy. I finished a league race in like a year and a half. That's great.
It's definitely good to have you in the booth. So yeah, so just to explain things a little more, on the last lap on the stream, we replayed how you got to third place. When the wreck started, you blinked out in turn 3, and you didn't reappear until you were side by side on the apron with James Thurston. But when you came into this race, did you have any people you were planning on working with, or did you have like a plan to ultimately end up in third?
I was solo in Discord, and I didn't want to work with nobody. just wanted to race and everything. And then I saw Riley, I think Barrett, I think Jo up there and everything. And I worked good with those people in the past. I was like, all right, I'm gonna help you guys out. They kind of got run up on them, people run them over, but oh well. But no, I wasn't with nobody. But yeah, I don't know how I got to P3 because I was sure I was gonna get kicked out or pit the pit road with iRacing with how you blink and everything now. But yeah, I don't know how I got there, man.
Hey, man, it's like Michael Waltrip said, it's sometimes better to be lucky than good, right?
Right.
Okay, well, before we let you go and let you celebrate your third place, do you have any people or sponsors you want to thank?
I got to thank Blaze McKinney for designing my beautiful car and everything. Check him out at Blaze Designs on Instagram. He's taking requests. A bunch of lawn care for being on the card tonight and everything, and you, Garrett, for broadcasting, put on a show for the people to watch at home and everything.
Alrighty, well, you heard it from the man himself. That is the number 37 of Glenn Bundren coming into third place finish. Will we see you at the 250 2 weeks from now?
Probably.
All right, looking forward to seeing how you do there, Bundren. We will see you then.
Yep, see you.
Okay, well, since that is the last driver of the podium, that is the end of interviews for right now. So, with all of that said and done, let me get to a more scenic view of the track real quick. Okay, with all that said and done, thank you for tuning in to the SRL Snowman Studios Motorsports Designs Cup Series on my channel. Most of the races will be broadcasted on FTN. This is just a stopgap measure just to get a stream out. So, but besides that, big thank you to SKS Graphics for help with their tickers. SKS Graphics, best names in the game when it comes to tickers. If you need tickers for your iRacing broadcast, go to SKS Graphics. But besides that, thank you for watching. Hope to see you around for 2 weeks for the SRL Duels and the Daytona 250. That is April 27th. With a much better stream when I get everyone's names written down and the teams. But now that that's all said and done, thank you, everybody. Have a good night. My name's Garrett Hess.